Hi, this is Miss Deanne here at the Early Learning Center with the School City of Hobart Building Brickies program and the ELC. I'm coming to you today to talk about a topic that we hear and get asked a lot of questions about, meltdowns and tantrums. Nothing can make us more frustrated as a parent in many ways than having your child meltdown or have a tantrum, in particular at a very difficult or challenging time if we're out in public or some other place where we really, it's just not very convenient. So I wanted to talk to you about that today because meltdowns and tantrums, just at the center of those is just like what we talked about before when we're talking about our guard dogs or the amygdala. In particular, children who are under the age of 3 have a very difficult time managing and regulating the guard dog or their emotions. When a child gets upset, could be about anything. They could be just feeling out of sorts. You could use the word no, and they're not getting what they want. And while that seems like a very not a big problem to us as adults, if they are told no or they're given the wrong color of sippy cup or whatever it may be, to a child that is that age, it actually is a very big deal. Their amygdalas are developed, but their ability to think and process that and decide whether or not that is an emergency or not an emergency has not yet developed. In fact, that doesn't even really begin until about the age of 3. And we really don't see further development of that until closer to 4. And so you will see a child, in particular between the ages of 2 and 3.5 or 4, be very happy one moment and then extremely upset and distressed and have a tantrum or a meltdown the next. And the reason for that is not because your child is a brat, not because your child is just selfish. It's because your child's brain development is where it is right then. And so we expect to see that crucial time period between the years of 2 and 3 in particular of constantly helping our child calm down and be okay. So I always say it to parents like this. If suddenly you were very upset about something that was very important to you, you lost your job or had an overwhelming medical bill come in or medical diagnosis come in, and you were very upset about that, and you went to your most significant other in your life to say, oh my goodness, I'm so upset, and you're crying and you're upset, how would you want them to respond to you? I always say, do you want them to turn their backs on you and ignore it and say, just get it together? Do you want them to say, straighten up, this is not a big deal? Or what do you want them to do? I know in my life what I would prefer people to do if I'm that upset is to give me empathy, to hear me, to listen to me, to empathize with me, but then also to help me. And that's what our children need. No matter what age we're talking about, even children and through adulthood, our children need our empathy about things that aren't necessarily important to us, but are extremely important to them. Many times meltdowns and tantrums will subside simply by providing empathy in that moment. I get it, you really wanted to go outside right now and it's raining. We can't. I'm so sorry. Sometimes the meltdown will just stop just with that. Can I give you a hug? Or how about we do this or this, and give them 2 different choices that are acceptable. Sometimes even though we do all of those things, the tantrums and the meltdowns continue. At that point, sometimes what we need to say is, you know what? I'm going to be right here for you. It looks like you need some time to work through these feelings. That's okay. Just stay safe, and then I'll be here for when you need me. So we don't have to get all upset. I feel like sometimes when my kids were first started having tantrums and meltdowns, I would be overwhelmed by the tantrum and the meltdown. Like I didn't know how to fix it. The truth is that we're not trying to fix it. Instead, we're trying to teach our children how to be able to regulate. The more often we do that, the more we are helping build those brain connections so that your child over time will be able to do that better and better. So meltdowns and tantrums certainly can be a big trial to all of us. And here at the ELC, we are about trying to help the child learn to self-regulate, learn that it's okay to have big feelings, learn how it's okay to express those big feelings, and then learn how to be able to cope and use our resources. That's a big job for anybody, and for all of us as adults even, so much less for children. So I encourage you today to think about what's happening in the brain when your child is melting down, and how can you help be empathetic towards your child and also help them to learn and grow so they become better and better at self-regulation. So that's our mindfulness learning for this week here at the Early Learning Center, and for all of our Building Brickies families and all those Bricky families out there who continue to have meltdowns even themselves here as adults. That's what's going on in your brains and in their brains, and that we actually, through empathy, care, and concern, while not changing the boundaries, can actually help our children learn how to deal with those boundaries and to regulate themselves in a better way. So again, you have more questions or concerns about your child. If, let's say, for example, your child is beyond the age of 3 or 4 and is still having consistent daily and long meltdowns over 15 minutes or so, please give us a call here. There may be some things that we can give you some help with. All right, have a great week, and I hope that the mindfulness in your family is helping you all to learn to regulate and to connect to each other better.